this is Melissa Patterson, and this is my technology lesson plan for 7430. So this lesson plan was actually a 2-week lesson plan on my molecular biology unit, which is DNA and proteins. I actually started off the unit with the very first day my kids were in the computer lab working on a web quest, going through DNA history and the structure of DNA. They then used this information to create an online infographic timeline. This is using the website visme.co, their timeliner maker. So students were given the choice. They could choose any kind of infographic they wanted, but they did have a set rubric that they had to follow, that rubric being here, that identified the number of events. They had to have a graphic for each one, just laid out the important information so they knew exactly what I expected from them. This was just a formative assessment to get an idea of their grasp of the importance of the experiments leading up to what we now know about DNA. That led into a discussion about DNA replication. I like to introduce most of my topics with a video. I strongly recommend the Amoeba Sisters videos to any science teachers out there. They're animated videos. I'll let them play for a second. Great information, kind of quirky. The students really enjoy it. But again, most importantly, great information that is really simplified and easy for the students to understand. So I introduced the topic with the Amoeba Sisters video. And then as far as notes go, I did notes a little bit differently in that I used this computer simulation to show students the process of DNA replication while they were taking notes. So this was shown on my smartboard, and I was walking through and discussing and explaining the steps of DNA replication while they were taking notes and drawing their own diagrams. So it gives you, as you walk through step by step, it gives you information. It shows you what is happening in each step. And so students were writing this down. They were drawing diagrams, and this serves as their notes on DNA replication. They then use this for their summative assessment at this point in the unit, where they had to create a stop-motion video with in groups of 3 or 4 students showing the steps of DNA replication. So I showed them this video as an example of a stop-motion video to how to create, or what it should look like. And then I provided them with a variety of different construction materials to use: construction paper, string, Play-Doh, silly putty, markers, all sorts of stuff, and they figured out how they wanted to represent the steps of DNA replication. They could either take pictures of it using their phone, and then use PowerPoint to create the stop motion video, or they could use any phone related app they wanted to use, whether it be iOS or Galaxy platforms. Again, choice of how they presented the information, as long as they made a stop motion video for me. That led into our discussion of protein synthesis. To introduce protein synthesis, I used the HP Reveal app. And I use augmented reality. So here is a video showing one of the posters. I made this poster size in the classroom, but they went up to the picture. They could use their phones, and then, of course, as we saw with the augmented reality content, it brought up new information for them to look at. So we did a gallery walk around the classroom with the various stages of protein synthesis, gaining new information, again, taking notes off of this stuff, drawing diagrams, leading into class discussion to make sure that they understood it. That led into mutations, which again I used an Amoeba Sisters video to describe the types of mutations, introduce it to them. Practice for protein synthesis and mutations was paper-based. In the future, if I redo this, or when I redo this lesson, I want to make this part of the unit more technology-based so it flows better with the DNA replication side. The students really like the augmented reality, the HP Reveal, and I want to kind of extend that somehow, maybe have them create their own to show their understanding of protein synthesis and mutations. As recap for the entire unit, then the day before the test, we did some quizzes reviewing. Students, as an extension, for those who finished early, I allowed them to create their own quizzes questions that I used to create a quizzes for the class, but I also used other ones that were pre-created, like this DNA replication one. Students who didn't have their own phone or their own device, with them, I just had them pair up with a classmate so that everyone could be involved in the review and everyone could really get a strong sense of how they would perform the next day on the unit test. I really enjoyed this lesson plan. It pushed me to integrate technology to levels that I hadn't before. It was kind of exhausting, but I did enjoy it, and I foresee myself using technology in greater lengths and greater depths in future lessons. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day.